Greetings, fellow book lovers, and welcome back to Colin's Corner. Today, guys, we are going to be doing a bookshelf tour and a Colin's Corner tour, just to kind of show you guys around my little area of the house. So, without anything further, guys, let's get right into this. Alright, guys, so this is where the magic happens. This is Colin's Corner. So we have some plants going on over here. We're right by the road, so if you guys ever hear any cars in any of my videos, that's probably why. This is my daughter's little art station, where she does art here and makes slime. She loves making slime. And this is the official Colin's Corner. So, got my little Stephen King blanket here. Nice reading chair, computer. And let's get into this bookshelf tour. We'll start up top here. Get my little Bulls license plate that I can't put on the front of my car because it doesn't have a place for it. Some artwork from my daughter. This book, Band of Brothers, was actually my grandpa's. I just inherited that when he passed away. So I have the First Law trilogy here, The Blade Itself, Before They Are Hanged, The Last Argument of Kings, Senlin Ascends. I've not read any of these yet, but I saw them all at Barnes & Noble one day, picked them up. I have Red Rising, which I also have not read. Truman Capote in Cold Blood is actually my Patreon pick for Jimmy over at the Fantasy Network. So hopefully one day I get picked for that and I can read that with him. My mom gave me this Agatha Christie, Murder at the Manor, and then this other Agatha Christie, Barnes & Noble exclusive. These are beautiful. I have here Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. Really enjoyed that book. This is the Harlan Coben series that my mom got me for Christmas. Next shelf down we have Paulo Coelho, The Alchemist, and the Hippies, or fun, easy reads. A Tale of Two Cities, All the Light We Cannot See. I actually read this one on audio. I enjoyed that. Crime and Punishment, have not read that yet. I have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first 6 Malazan books. This was also another Christmas gift. The F. Scott Fitzgerald. Pretty nice edition. Collected works of F. Scott Fitzgerald. That's a little hockey puck from my bachelor party. Gone Girl by Gillian or Gillian Flynn, I'm not sure which. I enjoyed Gone Girl, but funny enough, I actually really enjoyed Sharp Objects even more by her. This is a great show too, by the way, on Netflix. American Gods by Neil Gaiman. Haven't read this yet, but I have read The Ocean at the End of the Lane, which I thought was awesome. Another series I have not yet read yet is The Faithful and Fallen. So I have Malice, Valor, Ruin, and Wrath here. Oh, I also have this little stamper. I'll show you guys an example, which I stamp all my books that aren't the like special edition books. Boom. From the Library of Colin. So pretty cool. I'm just going to set that down because I can't get it back in there. All right, over here we have a little bead press thing that my daughter made me. It's a cat. The Midnight Library. There was a lot of hype around this book. I thought it was okay. John Hart, I have a couple of his novels because I really enjoyed them when I was younger. I have the first two Dune books. Haven't read them yet. And here we get into some of the heavy hitters. So this is Farseer up here. And then I have these Illustrated Editions. They are beautiful. And They were signed. All 3 of them. So if you guys want these, they're actually not any more expensive than just the regular illustrated editions. I got them from the University of Washington's website. You can just order them and then put in the comments that you want a signed edition, because Hob goes there and she just signs some books and then they sell them. If you want a personalized message, it will be a little longer, but to get them. But you can get them. You can just order them signed, which is pretty cool. I'll put the link for that website where I got them in the description of the video. Here we have Live Ship. Next we have Tawny Man. These guys. So the Rainwild Chronicles, I think, have the best covers for the US editions. The rest of the covers for the US editions are pretty weak, in my opinion. This just looks like, you know, even the first one. This looks like Paul Rudd playing, like, Peter Pan or something. I don't know. Pretty strange, in my opinion. Not my favorite. And then we have, boom, The Fitz and the Fool, to round out my Realm of the Elderlings collection. The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini and 1,000 Splendid Suns. I read The Kite Runner a really long time ago. I don't even remember it. Moving on down, we have this edition of the A Song of Ice and Fire series that I got at Barnes & Noble. They're pretty cool. They're small. Like, that's my hand. But they're really nice leather-bound editions. In the back here, we have Clara and the Sun, which is a book I've been waiting to get to for a while. Just have been kind of putting it off. I have Blood Meridian and The Road. Haven't read those yet. The Song of Achilles, I really enjoyed this. I read this one part on audio and part physical. The Night Circus, I listened to that one. That was a lot of fun too. A very atmospheric read. I have, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The first 9 Discworld books. It's hard to find the ones that are in chronological order after this. They never have them at Barnes & Noble. Where the Red Fern Grows. Harry Potter. I love how all these spines make up the castle. I think that's pretty cool. This next shelf is going to be pretty quick. These are all my Book of the Month books. I haven't read many of these. Well, there's a couple that aren't, like The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I actually really liked that book. A Little Life I read with some friends. It wasn't my favorite. I've not read Project Hail Mary yet, but all of these other ones are just kind of Book of the Month books that I've been collecting for the past like year and a half and haven't read them. And we have this big guy, which my mom just bought me. The Calvin and Hobbes complete collection. Absolutely beautiful. Down here is actually a bunch of books that my mom has just had. They're nice leather-bound or cloth-bound books. This is like the complete Shakespeare collection. They just kind of, my parents had them just sitting like in storage, so she gave them to me. Let's move over here to my, let me get me out of the shot. It's my signed Michael Jordan picture and just some other framed MJ pictures here. Pretty cool. Here's my records. I'm not going to go through all those, but I have a nice little collection going on. A little Chicago Bulls hardbound book. Decade by decade history. And I am into plants. I flip through this every once in a while. This is The Definitive Guide to Houseplants. A lot of cool stuff in here if you guys are interested in plants. I found that at Barnes & Noble. Now we are going to move over to the King Shelf. So these first, this is pretty much King and some horror. Up here, starting up here, These are all first editions that I have been collecting. Just finding them at like, well, Fairy Tale I bought, but most of these I've just found at like my local Goodwill, or I'll just stop into Half Price Books or different Goodwills, and I'll pick them up if they're in good condition. So I have Blaze here, Billy Summers, Charlie the Choo Choo, which if you've read The Dark Tower, you knew about that. Cell, Cycle of the Werewolf I found. I thought that was pretty cool. The Dark Half. I have the last 3 Dark Tower books in first edition. I have Desperation, Doctor Sleep, Dolores Claiborne, Fairy Tale, 4 Past Midnight, From a Buick 8, Gerald's Game, The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, Needful Things. These are pretty cool. These came in the box set for the hard case crime novels. I just like to display them up here. The Regulators, Revival, Rose Matter. The Tommyknockers, not in the best condition. This is pretty cool. This was one of those books my mom gave me. One of those leather-bound books. So, in here is The Shining, Salem's Lot, Night Shift, and Carrie. So that's pretty cool. This I got this past Christmas. It's a complete exploration of King's work, life, and influences. I flipped through that. I haven't read all of it yet, but it's really interesting. There's my Alan Lee illustrated Lord of the Rings books, because I didn't have anywhere on my other shelf to put them. These are absolutely beautiful works of art. So awesome. Moving down, this is my It shelf. So we have, my wonderful wife got me this for Christmas. Stephen King holding the red balloon. This I found at Spirit Halloween, actually. And really thought that this was cool. It's metal. Nice quality. This was a gift, and it's probably my most prized possession from my wonderful wife. This is a first... Oh, I just dropped Steven. Sorry, buddy. This is a first edition, first printing of It. She got me, we found at Half Price Books. Boom. There's the first printing and the price tag up there. So this guy is in fantastic condition, and he is the centerpiece of my price on the front there. It was just on there. That's not what we paid for it, but I don't want to take that sticker off and risk ruining the cover, so there it stays. That's just a little mass market paperback of It. That's also a first edition that I found. Let me pick Steven up here. There you go, guy. Sorry, man. This is, I also found this at Spirit Halloween. A Pennywise mug. Pretty stinking cool. That is a painting that I made with my daughter. She wanted to paint on some canvas one day, and I happened to be listening to the It audiobook, so that's what I went with. Not an artist, but I'm actually kind of happy with how that turned out. Moving on down, these are not first editions. These are just other Stephen King books I have. 11/22/63. This is another Barnes & Noble exclusive. Has Carrie, The Shining, and Salem's Lot in here. These are awesome, and they're not that expensive. Here we have Mitzi. Hey, Mitz. Get off my desk. Get off my desk. This I found at Half Price Books. It's The Road to the Dark Tower. It's kind of I think a compendium by Bev Vincent. I haven't really read through this yet, but I've been warned not to if you haven't finished the series yet, because it's very spoilery. Here's the 3rd, 4th, 4.5th, 5th, 6th, and 7th Dark Tower books. I lent the first couple to a buddy who's reading them right now. So I don't have those here, but these are just some more of my King collection. The Dead Zone, different seasons. Dreamcatcher, Doohickey, fantastic book. Heavily slept on King book. The Eyes of the Dragon I really enjoyed. Everything's Eventual I've read some of, but not all of. Firestarter, haven't read yet. Haven't read Full Dark, No Stars. Gerald's Game, I have watched the movie, but not read the book. Green Mile, same thing. So I have a lot of good King to read still. We have Hearts in Atlantis, If It Bleeds, Insomnia. As you can tell, I love It. A couple more copies of It. These are the hard case crime novels, Later, Joyland, and Colorado Kid. I was really bummed I ordered this because it was on sale and they shipped me that bent up box, but hey, you know, can't win them all. The Long Walk, haven't read. Misery, I read last year. Fantastic book. My mom got me the Mr. Mercedes series. She wants me to read those. I have not gotten around to that yet, but I will. Needful Things, Night Shift Again, Pet Cemetery, unbelievable book. Revival, plan to read this one fairly soon. I've heard really good things about it. Skeleton Crew, I've read some of, but not all of. Another Barnes & Noble special edition of The Stand. Really, really, really nice editions, guys. If you have a Barnes & Noble near you, check these out because they're only like 25 bucks and they are awesome. The Talisman, I did not like very much. I liked some parts of it, but not a lot. Black House, I thought was actually a lot better, especially if you're a fan of the Dark Tower. There's a lot of Tower stuff in there, but I thought Black House was a lot better than the Talisman. And this will round out my King stuff with Under the Dome down here. Now we're just kind of getting into some horror. Something Wicked This Way Comes, never read that. Imaginary Friend, heard really good things about this from people that I respect their opinion on. I'm gonna save some of these for Halloween time or just kind of the fall. American Psycho, love this movie. Apparently the book is even more brutal, so cool. I read this one last Halloween time. This is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. Really, really, really good haunted house story. This is again, I got this one at Barnes & Noble. It's a collection of H.P. Lovecraft, sorry. I've read some Lovecraft, but not a lot, so I can't wait to get into him. This is Bird Box. I watched it on Netflix, really liked it. My wife loves Bird Box. I found this at like Ollie's or something for like $2, so I just figured I would buy it. I've never read it. This is a graphic novel of I Am Legend. I've read through a lot of this, but the artwork in here is really, really cool. Boom. Not read through all of that, but the first 3 deluxe editions of Berserk, I've read the first. I really, really liked it. Sounds weird to say with Berserk. It's extremely brutal, but this was actually my first foray into manga. So I really, really enjoyed it. I can't wait to get to these guys. Here I have Frankenstein. I've never read Frankenstein. Another Barnes & Noble. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Another Barnes & Noble. Dracula, have not read. And Ghost Story by Peter Straub. Rest in peace, I have not read. And my little holder there. All right, guys, that will do it for the bookshelf and Colin's Corner tour. Thank you guys so much for stopping by today. Let me know if I have anything on my shelves that you guys have read, that you plan on reading. And if you are enjoying the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Share the channel so we can grow this community even more. And remember, you are always welcome in Colin's Corner.